Hi everyone, this is Jar, Citizen Gamer. Just wanted to go over some news this week from some of the games that I'm interested in and discuss maybe whatever comes across my mind. Well, for starters, we had the weekly and the monthly update from CIG come out this last Friday, and it looks like they're in crunch time right now to get 2.0 Persistent Universe testing grounds out to us. I'm really excited for that. That should hopefully include the new flight model, which is kind of what I've been waiting for. I avoided putting a lot of time into some of the aspects like Arena Commander because I've known that changes would have to be coming for quite some time, and one of the last things I wanted to do was really kind of get into getting very versed with a system that was going to be completely replaced. One of the things I learned a long time ago, when I used to be a martial arts instructor, is that it's harder to unlearn something than it is to learn something from a blank slate. And unlearning patterns and unlearning how a system works would be significantly harder than just, say, picking it up from scratch. Not to say that I haven't played Arena Commander. I played it quite a bit, but I've been backing away for a little while. And 1.3, of course, being a large source of that because, frankly, 1.3 has been very unstable with people who have SLI systems because right now anyone who has an SLI system gets random crashes. And I'll try to put some footage here if I can. Obviously, if not, you'll be looking at a fun picture. So, another thing going on is that, of course, Elite Dangerous is getting ready to move on to the Horizons expansion to out to the hands of players, and I'm really looking forward to that. But I still think Elite Dangerous needs some sort of active guild support and possibly even the ability for players to control sections of space. Right now, we have the faction system, and the faction system is, in my opinion, a little flawed in the sense that to get reputation with the factions, you have to go and either deliver these objects or you have to go ahead and do fighting for the factions, and that's not really the problem. The problem is that the points that you gain week to week are refreshed, and some of the points it takes to raise faction with these are ridiculously high. I looked at it; I would have to make Elite Dangerous a full-time job to hit the max level. It would just be me playing that game, nothing else, and I think that's a bit extreme. I would prefer if they went along the lines of much higher points for rank, but the ranks were permanent or decayed very slowly. There's got to be some better way to approach this, and maybe someday down the road they'll revisit this. Of course, everyone knows Fallout 4 is hitting the shelves tonight at midnight, or as I'm recording this, but probably already out by the time you listen to this. And I had a Let's Play going with Lightning Dragon, but for Divinity, but I think that might be held off for a little while. He's already bought the game. He's going to kind of dig into that, and I totally don't blame him. I, of course, did not pick up Fallout 4. I still need to pick up, I need to play Fallout 1 through Vegas. And it's on my long list of to-dos, including the whole Witcher series and whatnot. And I'm a little bit behind. And every time they have a Steam summer sale or whatnot, I end up picking a bunch of games up for like $2-3 or whatever. And I get buried in them. Now back to Star Citizen for just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and put some footage up here. And they went ahead and showed the new HUD system that they have coming out. And I was very impressed by this. It looks like what they've done here is actually turn the panels onto the ships actually into real usable workable panels. You can customize what screen shows what. You can use the mouse inside of those panels to adjust power settings or anything. This is very exciting to me. This is, I feel, a beautiful ground between a very like a sim light and a full sim games like something like DCS. And I think it's going to add enough depth. Now, some people are concerned that they won't be able to use this during combat, but they're probably going to have presets, and you can go ahead and set the ship up the way you want, save it to preset 1, then save it to preset 2, so on and so forth. That seems like something logical that they would do with that. But the idea that you can really just kind of get in there and tune your ship and do it in a way that's more immersive than just right now it's a matter of pressing your function keys and all these other weird keys to set things up, and just having a nice, much cleaner interface, I think will make the ships just so much more fun to fly and much more depth without actually getting too deep, which can ruin it for a lot of players. A nice middle ground. They also went and showed the animation for the Reliant, how it takes off, and it still kind of looks like it's kind of a white box here. I'll put the video up here as well, and Basically, it's coming along quite well. They also talked about how the Vanguard and is getting near to hangar ready. And I remember someone posting on the forums that they found that the something about the Herald also being listed in some of the back data files. So, and then mentioned that basically the Herald also might be coming hangar ready soon too. Now, if those go live, well, but when they go live, I'll go ahead and post videos up on those as well. And so you can kind of get a nice walk around of all those ships and hopefully get inside and really look at the details. It's one of my favorite things about Star Citizen is the level of details they put onto all those ships. Of course, if you're Armored Warfare fans or playing short tank games at all and you haven't played Armored Warfare yet, basically from the 10th, I think, through the 13th, if you log on, they're going to give you a free Tier 4 tank. I think it's a T-60. It's got a nice camo pattern on it that's different than the one comes standard. They said it's the same tank as the one that you get as the default, like if you were to go through the tiers, but you're just going to get it. Now, what I want to know is if it's a gold tank that's actually fully upgraded to the same standard as the other T-60, or if it's actually just one you're going to have to upgrade as normal and it's pushed aside somewhere along on the tree. Personally speaking, I hope it's a gold tank. I don't want to have to go ahead and raise up another whole T-60 because I've already finished all my Tier 4 vehicles as of today, including the artillery. And now I have all Tier 5s and some Tier 6s besides all the gold Tier 6s to raise up. But I'm really enjoying Armored Warfare. There's been a little bit of difficulty going on recently is that as people move along the ranks a little bit higher and higher, I do a lot of PvE just to raise up tanks and to unlock things. It's a lot less frustrating than they say doing PvP matches. But right now, because as people are gaining more and more tanks and going up the ranks a bit higher, I end up going into matches where I'm a Tier 5, someone else is a Tier 7, which of course means the tanks you fight are Tier 8, and that can cause a lot of problems. So I'm seeing actually a lot more PvE mission fails than I've ever seen before, and that's starting to bleed over into creating a little bit of frustration in the PvE side of it. But if it really kind of turns into a pain in the butt, I just might go full PvP just because of the fact that there is more money to be made there, and the XP is just as good. Of course, I'm going to continue my ever unpopular Alien Isolation Let's Play and just kind of keep digging in through that. And I said, if it doesn't interest you, don't worry about watching it, obviously. I'm finding the game very interesting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this unfolds. A big fan of Alien and Aliens, not so much a fan of the other movies, but I think those two are just legends, and I'm just really happy that a game like Alien Isolation has come along to really try to take that feeling of those movies and bring it into the survival horror standard that it should be, and that's something like the infamous Colonial Marines that is absolutely just beyond disgustingly bad. On a personal note, I was advised by a friend not to bring this up, but I'm going to anyway. I want to talk about Derek Smart for just a moment when it relates to Star Citizen. I read his blog this week, and I was just blown away by how much crap was in it. It was just amazing to me. He was talking about how if you melt ships to change other ships, how you get less money back than what you put into them. That's completely wrong, Mr. Smart. He was saying all sorts of crap like this, just absolutely far-fetched, and he has no idea what he's talking about. To me, this man is absolutely just a joke. I have played his games, unfortunately. I bought Battlecruiser 3000 AD a long time ago, and the game was utter garbage. And it's free to play right now on Steam, and you can just download it if you want to try it, and just see what I'm talking about. It's garbage. And now he's got this whole line of defense game, and he's acting like this is the second coming of video game awesomeness. And even when Steam has the game up for a weekend and anyone can download and play for free, you're lucky if you can find one person who wants to play it. Camera issues, you walk up to a wall, you clip through the wall, and the graphics are like PlayStation 2 era. It's just not a good game. It doesn't look good, it doesn't play good. The scaling's wrong. I mean, you have like your character running around like looking at the chairs, and the chairs are like, oh my gosh, are like for 10, 15 foot tall people, and suitcases that you could live in and things like that. He just has no concept of scale, no concept of graphics, no concept of gameplay. It's glitchy, it's buggy, it's ugly. But this is consistent for Mr. Smart. And that's the thing, is that, you know, he is like trying to tag his name onto Chris Roberts again, like he did way back during the time of Wing Commander when he went after him then too. And if he didn't do something like this, I mean, nobody would know who he is. He's pathetic, and I'm just going to come out and say it. He's absolutely a joke. And the fact that anyone is taking this man seriously at all, what he has to say, it's absolutely just beyond the pale. He has the credentials of a B movie maker, if that, in an A class industry, and he just absolutely is just terrible. And look at Metacritic. Look at all of his games. I mean, if he scores an average score, those are like his best games. Most of them are well below that. Look him up on Metacritic. It's garbage. This guy can't program his way out of a wet paper bag. And frankly, he can keep talking all he wants, but he's got this narcissistic personality. If you've ever seen him talk, I guarantee you that when 2.0 comes out and the game comes out, Star Citizen, somewhere in some blog somewhere, he's gonna say how if it wasn't for him coming out and saving us all by forcing CIG to make this game, we would have all been subject to this great and glorious scam that is Star Citizen. And he, as he dons his cape and flies off into the stars to rejoice in his greatness, he's just, shut up, dude. Anyway, I don't want this to drag on too long, but I just had to get that out there. That guy is absolutely just, enough about him. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And as always, this is Jar, Citizen Gamer, signing out.